Video games are generally all about escapism. They give the player the chance to be someone they're not, to experience things they otherwise never would. I mean, it's not like I can shoot a couple of flaming Nazi zombies in the face every time I pop down to the shops for a pint of milk, even though that would be the coolest thing ever, or take part in a violent multi-million-dollar bank heist. Well, okay, I technically could do the latter, but even if I somehow did magically get away with it, there's no way I'd ever be able to live with the guilt. Oh god, look, listen, I'm really sorry about this, but would you maybe just let me tie you up for a second while I steal all your money? Look, I'm really sorry about this. Honestly, you kind of remind me a little bit of my aunt, so this is really awkward for me. Sorry. Occasionally though, video games will drop that veil of illusion and reveal a glimpse of the real world behind the monitor screen. Now, I'm not talking about celebrity appearances like, say, Gabe Newell appearing as a boss in Crawl, or the late Gary Coleman's Postal 2 cameo.
What is wrong with you?
No, I'm talking about real-life events that have leaked into the virtual worlds we play in. The most recent example of this would probably be Goat Simulator's shout out to Hideo Kojima. We're all hoping that somehow PT and Silent Hills can be brought back from the dead, but Coffee Stain Studios, the team behind Goat Sim, went that extra mile and added a direct plea to the man himself into their game's end credits. They've got to be kidding themselves if they think that'll work though. Goat. On the topic of righting wrongs, Roll7, the developers of eccentric 2D shooter Not a Hero, recently stepped up to the plate and delivered on Peter Molyneux's failed promise of including Curiosity winner Brian Henderson as a god in Goddess. As you can see from this footage, the Not a Hero version of Brian is set to have awesome godlike abilities if he eventually becomes a playable character. That's God to wind Peter up. Sorry, I'll stop that now. While many games are inspired by actual events, only a few of those actively try to give something back to the real world. This War of Mine tells the story of civilians trapped in a city siege, which, according to the developers, is based loosely around the siege of Sarajevo. Their recent War Child DLC added unique street art throughout the game, with 100% of the proceeds being donated to the charity. According to developer 11-Bit, the lives of 350 children were positively affected by the DLC, and because of the success, they are planning more charity actions in the future. More of this type of thing from all developers, please. When it comes to fourth wall breaking antics, Max Payne games can hardly be called shy.
You're in a computer game, Max.
But it's the moment when players stumble across a hidden tribute to one Mika Forcell in Max Payne 2 that the virtual world peels back and real-world tragedies become uncomfortably clear. It's not fully known whether Mika was a developer on the game or a friend of one of the level designers, but what is certain is that he was only 20 years old when he passed away, and that someone in the development team was affected by his loss and managed to honour his memory in an extremely cool way. Mika isn't the only person to have been immortalised in a video game though. The deaths of actor Leonard Nimoy and fantasy author Terry Pratchett this year were felt by fans around the globe, many of whom work in game development. Frontier, the developer of Elite Dangerous, added space-based tributes to both of them, namely Leonard Nimoy Station and Pratchett's Disk Starport, while thousands of gamers converged on Star Trek Online to pay tribute to the Spock actor when the developers added memorial statues on the planets Vulcan and New Romulus. Whether as a humorous joke or a touching tribute, when video games reference real-world goings-on, it's hard not to take notice. These little nods to reality tend to stand out more than your typical in-game Easter egg, and I think it's because they snap you out of the fantasy world for a second and remind you that behind the reams of code and the pretty graphics are real-life people with hopes and feelings, just like you and I. But the real question is, do you think this is a good thing? Would you like to see more games acknowledge the real world, or do you think they should stay purely as escapism? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more from Eurogamer. Goodbye!
Right, I've decided to legalise cannabis. Like nowhere else, the citizens of this country can now walk the streets safely and sleep sound in their beds knowing that crime is practically consigned to the history books. Excellent. That's great.
What is happening? What is this? What is this? Where am I going? There's a pickaxe. Ah! Oh, please don't jump off there. I'm scared of heights. Ah! What?